I'm John Steedman, a partner in Greenbackers with Andrew and Mark. I'd like to introduce to you the Energy and Power cohort now. 7 excellent pitches, and then we'll be following that with a short panel. Hello to everyone online. Hello to you in the audience. We'll start with blockchain triangle.
Thank you.
My name is Mike Simpson. I'm the CEO of Cheesecake Energy. We're delivering the world's greenest battery. Bus operators are under huge pressure right now to electrify their fleets. But getting the power to those fleets, to charge those fleets, is hugely costly, and it can be very, very disruptive, digging up the roads. With our system, we can double the charging capacity of their existing site without that hassle. That allows us to electrify sooner and reduce the cost of doing that. Allow me to introduce the eTanker system. This is the world's greenest battery. We're delivering thermal and compressed air at 30 to 40% lower cost than lithium-ion alternatives. When there's surplus electricity from solar or from the grid, we use ex-service diesel engines to compress air. We use an electric motor to drive the pistons and compress air. As that air is compressed, it heats up. We store the heat in tanks full of gravel and the air in pressure vessels from the compressed natural gas industry. We can deliver 150 kilowatts up to 30 megawatts for 4 to 12 hours. We're targeting huge markets all the way along the electricity value chain, and we're a technology supplier. We're delivering key components to system integrators and licensing their designs. It's a low-cost system, it can be positioned anywhere, and it's really long-lasting as well. We have impeccable green credentials. Raw materials are steel, rock, and air. Our pilot system has been ordered by Nottinghamshire County Council, and we have support from Shell through their Game Changer program, as well as Highways England, Volvo, and more. We're currently completing our prototype storage system. We'll be deploying that with an end user, and we will be looking for strategic channel partners before manufacturing and scale up. And we have a superb team, including a professor of mechanical engineering and a former CEO of the Williams F1 team. We're looking for 3 to 4 million in Q3 of next year. We'd love you to join us. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Ainsley Chinambiri, the CEO of Chitendai Limited. We are the manufacturer of the iRadiant solar panel, and we co-develop installations that use the iRadiant solar panel. We set up Chitindai on a fundamental basis of care. We care about people, climate, and biodiversity. And because we care, we're continually in search of excellence to be better in a differentiated manner. So we developed the iRadiant solar panel and business models that make electricity more accessible and affordable. Our centerpiece, the iRadiant solar panel, is 43% more efficient and generates up to 4 times more electricity per square meter than standard PV. And with smart technology, we're able to remotely monitor and control the performance of each installed solar panel so that customers, operators, and investors can get performance data in almost real time. iRadiant solar panel is targeted to the solar belt region of the Earth, which means it works well in Southern Europe, Middle East, Asia, South America, and the US and Mexico, where we also have granted patents. But we've targeted Africa, where we've developed a pipeline of work for the next few years, which allows us now to take nearly $48 million of pre-order projects to financial close. Our ESG impact is significant. In Zambia, our program is going to directly impact 500,000 people. It will reduce the cost of electricity by 30%. It will avoid 30,000 tons of CO2 emissions. But more importantly, it will eliminate the 13-hour-a-day power cuts experienced by many hospitals and clinics operated by the United Church of Zambia, which means doctors and nurses can continue to do their good work of saving lives. We're here looking for a $2 million investment, and we've secured already $650,000, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Niall Hoheen. I'm the CEO for Lambda Energy, which is a quantum light engineering company based out of Cambridge. What we're doing is developing active material to manage the light, to ensure that there's maximum efficiency, predominantly to increase the efficiency of solar PV and to plants. We're using 2 different methods, predominantly using nanocrystal materials. One is using luminescent downshifting, which is absorbing the ultraviolet to green and re-emitting to red. And when it comes to solar, which likes the near infrared, what we're taking is the UV to blue and splitting the photons so that it produces 2 infrared. Nice way of looking at it is we got the little UV light. I am hoping you can see it in the background. You see the UV light hits the glass and it turns red. For retrofit, we secured 450 grand to develop a retrofit solution. We were sponsored by Lightsource BP. That will go on the outside of the glass, absorbing the UV in blue and producing up to 10% increase in output. For agri, we'll incorporate our nanocrystals straight into the plastic, show that it increases the round of red light and leading to a 20% increase in output, perfect for the likes of strawberry growers in Scotland. We've got 4 academic partners, predominantly Cambridge University, and soon we'll have Glasgow University as one of our plastics experts. It takes a substantial amount of time to get this product to market, but the economic and social impact will be immense. We're looking for patient capital and industrial engagement. We've raised $1.5 million so far in public and private funding, and now we're seeking an extra $1 million to supplement government funding. I thank you for your time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Humphreys. I'm a member of the management team and in-house lawyer at Magtor. I'd first of all like to thank Greenbackers very much indeed for giving us the opportunity to present at COP26 today. Magtor has invented an entirely new field of technology, an ultra-high efficiency linear electric motor, bringing energy savings of more than 30%. This is a technology that is going to totally disrupt the global market. Our linear motor will replace the rotary-based motors that are at the heart of the compressors and pumps in thousands of applications, including fridges, air conditioning, and heat pumps. Magtor-driven products will bring dramatically reduced CO2 emissions to many industries, at the same time allowing energy power generation infrastructures to continue to cope with ever-increasing demands. This is an enormous market opportunity for Magtor as the world embarks here in Glasgow today, right now, on the real road to net zero. Our motor will become the dominant global technology, reducing the carbon footprint of every home, vehicle and business. And our target market is worth a truly eye-watering 221 billion euros. To overcome barriers to entry, our go-to-market strategy is based on building awareness of our technology with the public and end customers, and also with end customers and with licensing and collaboration with industrial players to ensure the massive and rapid rollout that the world needs. Our growth plan is to start revenue generation in Q1 2024 and to reach gross profits of 276 million by 2030 based on a 5% market share. In this current funding round, we're looking at investment of 2 million euros and have already secured 60% of this figure. We would be delighted to discuss this opportunity more with you. You can find out information on the Green Backers platform, or alternatively, you can speak to Martin, Jeremy, or me after the presentation. Thank you.
In these days of clickbait and toxic algorithms, one thing guaranteed to set people against renewables is paying them to switch off. But what if, instead of paying wind farms to stop turning, we could get people to use that green energy when it's cheap and abundant and avoid using power when it's dirty and expensive? Zoos can help make that happen by providing flexibility to homes and businesses through automatically controlling their energy demand up and down to match generation. We let you be greener and not even notice. Zoos analyzes day-ahead energy pricing, grid carbon intensity, and hyperlocal weather forecasting to optimize energy use and balance the system. By focusing locally, we provide visibility and control to allow more renewables, low-carbon heating, and EV charging to be installed in each neighborhood. While most companies entering the market for domestic flexibility services are downsizing from the C&I sector, deploying expensive hardware solutions to a market with small margins but large volumes, Zoos is taking a bottom-up, software-only approach, which is low-cost, secure, reliable, and rapidly scalable. We've developed a market-leading technology for planning the deployment of low-carbon assets, which is already being trialled by councils, network operators, housing associations, and community energy groups. We're looking for investors based here in Scotland and eligible for EIS. We're looking for investors with seed investment of 800,000 to accelerate our growth and commercial traction towards a Series A round in 18 months. The energy system is changing. Be part of the change. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karthik, founder and co-CEO of Catrick Technologies.
Hi, I'm Vijay Madlani, co-CEO of Catrick Technologies. Please enjoy the video.
We are Catrick Technologies. We're an IP-led green tech business with patents in wind energy and passive cooling. We're looking for £9 million investment for 18% of our business. Here's what you'll be investing in. Our innovative wind technology uses multiple patented aerofoil fins to capture a variety of wind speed and directions, converting the oscillations to carbon-free electricity. With costs comparable to offshore wind and totally outperforming solar, we deliver a 10% return to the owner at just 8 pence per kilowatt hour. And if that's not enough, our patented passive cooling system slashes data centers' intensive cooling power consumption and carbon emissions by over 50%, making industrial AC units obsolete. Our thermal vibration bell uses bifluids and oscillating fins to dissipate waste heat. This is a strong revenue opportunity for our business in a well-funded sector. Another reason to invest in Catrick Technologies. In 2022, we expect £6 million of revenue, growing to £360 million in 2026. Our EBITDA margin over the period averages 70%, reflecting the software-like characteristics of our business model, giving us up to 90% profit margin potential. Our profit comes from licensing our IP to OEMs, not manufacturing ourselves. An experienced team, fully patent-protected technologies, vast opportunities, cash positive from 2022, exit potential 50 times plus in 5 years. So what are we looking for? A total of £9 million investment in exchange for 18% of our business.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like now to call up my fellow panel members, please. Jacqueline Redman, she's the Executive Director of Power Networks Distribution Centre here at the University of Strathclyde. Sarah Malani, partner with Brown Rudnick, one of our major sponsors. And Keith Mitchell, who's a partner with N4, a direct investment firm. Thank you. You sit in the middle, Keith. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. According to the UN, this sector is the largest contributor to global emissions, probably is somewhere estimated about 35%. Presentations today covered energy generation, energy storage, harvesting, efficiency, management, and monitoring, what I would call elements. And what I wanted to do with your help today in the panel was to try and lift that up, think a little bit more about at the system level. If you think about the Carbon Trust, what they said we need a new energy system, require new technology, different consumer behavior, new business models, and so on. And you could think about what blockchain talked to us about, Cheesecake and Zuos about systems. So this is where I'd like to start with my panel. I'd like to start, if possible, with you, Jacqueline. As we strive towards net zero, do you see closer collaboration, reconfiguring the energy system in a joined-up way we've not seen so far?
Well, yes, I hope so. I think so. I really enjoyed all of the presentations. As an engineer, that was like a kid in a sweetie shop, or for the online audience, a child in a candy store. What I really liked about it was what we saw there was a combination of new technology for energy generation and then new technology to make the most of the current energy generation we have. And I think that, as I sit here with my background in sort of investments as well, there's a lot of technology out there, and you can't quickly grasp if that technology is going to work or not. So what I look for is to understand the depth of the talent in the organisation. And I think also what I look for as well is to see the connections, and I need the companies to show me how they can collaborate with other companies to pull together this new system. And I was sitting reflecting about offshore wind, which we've talked about before. Now, offshore wind wasn't born, it didn't come out as a combined product. The first offshore wind projects suffered with their gearboxes. So then gearboxes were developed, and then new turbines were developed, and new blades were developed. So I think it's incumbent upon entrepreneurs to be making those connections themselves in their head, to be already thinking about, if I partner with this person or I partner with that person, then what I bring is a new system to the solution.
Keith, if we could turn to you. I know we've talked about decarbonised and decentralised power value chains in the past. How do you think you could drive that further and faster with some incentives? And I'm thinking something beyond EIS, which is quite well adopted today.
Yeah, I think that the EIS system is a huge incentive for individuals to promote these new technologies, for sure. I think part of the challenge is, well, there's many challenges, I think, and not to go against Bertrand Piccard, there are challenges that we see, and it's to do with, the opportunities reaching, and it's been said before today, reaching the market, and how do these opportunities get tested and tried in the marketplace. I think there was a discussion earlier about the importance of fundraising around the revenue generating businesses as opposed to fresh starts. So getting to that marketplace is vital. And I think importantly, everyone along this value chain is looking for the same thing. It's just connecting that value chain, which is really important. Whether it's the funders, whether it's the technologists themselves, or whether it's the people who can open the doors to the marketplace. It's trying to connect all the areas. And I think that the optimist in me says that everyone wants that to happen. In the utilities all the way down through the EPC providers, all the way down through to technologists, is how do you lubricate that stickiness? And that stickiness happens with, especially down at the early stage businesses around fundraising. A lot of these guys spend a lot of their time looking for funds when actually they're experts at developing new technologies. And then when they've raised some funds, it's getting that first order, getting that first. So how does that happen? But I think to your point around the new business models, for sure, it's the carrot as opposed to the stick. What can we do more beyond EIS around investing in these new technologies to help remove some of that stickiness? I think is vitally important for these businesses.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Just to make one more point. What's interesting when you look at these technologies, maybe all the people in the room wouldn't invest in all of them, but I'll bet you all of the people in the room would invest in at least one or two if they had the funds to do so. Yes. So it just shows you the attractiveness of what greenbackers are putting on today, and the attractiveness of these technologies.
When I think of a different system, I'm thinking of what you mentioned, sort of connectivity. I'm thinking of flexibility. I'm thinking of visibility or transparency is the sort of word. If I think about this, Sarah, I think about connectivity, and these are high-growth new startup energy companies. What sort of sources of finance and investment do you think they should be prioritizing?
So you need to think about investors in kind of four pots. And the way I always put them together is you've got VC investors, so that's your kind of traditional VC fund. Typically, they were looking for a financial return. You've got your CVC investors, so your corporate venture capital arms. They're out there looking for new technologies. They're covered in red tape. There's loads of bureaucracy. They can't necessarily deploy technology at the same speed as you guys can. They want access to it, but they also, they want to make some money as well. You've got this kind of new breed of impact investor, and actually it's not really a new breed. We've been at Brown Rudnick, Jimmy, Neil and I, we've been acting for impact investors for about 7 or 8 years now. And they're looking to make a financial return, but they're also wanting to see their money work a bit harder and do some good in the world. And then you've got your kind of family offices and your high net worth individuals. And a lot of that money kind of has that kind of imagination drive to it. They want to invest in something that's going to see change. I would say, consider all of them as investors. There's been a big drive in the last couple of years and a big change where, these funds are going out, these VC funds are going out, and they're trying to raise capital into their own fund. And the LPs are saying, great, you've given us a brilliant return on our funds over the last couple of years, but we now want to see our money work that bit harder. We want to see that great return, but at the same time, we also want to know that we've helped Bob down the street fuel his house for, when there's been a power shortage or whatever. So consider everybody. I think it's really important for you all. You should always think of, and probably Neil's going to kill me for this one, but when you're out looking for capital, think about, you're also courting the investors as well. You're trying to find the right fit for your business. So whether that's going to be kind of strategic partnerships, or it's going to be that kind of pack of money, or whether it's going to be somebody who's going to give you great PR, or is going to be a great addition to your board, there are different ways to approach it. But the good news is everybody really wants to see a double bottom line now with their finances. So this is you're very sexy. There is it.
Just staying with you, Sarah, if I might. I'm thinking about corporates, and there's been a lot said in the last 10 days or so about corporates being accountable for ESG. What are some of the ways you think you advocate for doing this?
So you'll see ESG. You type in ESG in Google now, and it's just like in big lights. I mean, you could sit on Google forever, and you would have so many different opinions on it and whatsoever. I'm going to put a shocker out there. ESG compliance is a wee bit of a misnomer in my view. There isn't one place to go for ESG. There isn't one kind of act or statute or guideline or regulation that you can go and read and say, okay, I'm going to do all of this and I'll be ESG compliant. Effectively, if you're kind of complying with employment laws, or you're kind of have an anti-bribery policy, or you've got kind of you're acting in a way that's non-discriminatory, you're already ESG compliant to an extent. The difference is that the kind of, for me, ESG is about reporting. And for those from government in the room, you might want to shut your ears. My view is there's a lot of kind of legislation for PLCs, and that's because they're the companies that can drive it forward and put policies in place and report against those policies. But there isn't much for private companies. There were some guidelines published in the EU earlier this year, in April this year. But obviously, Brexit, they don't necessarily apply to all of you in this room. The thing that you need to be aware of is that really when they created those guidelines, it was the Institute of Directors was one of the drivers behind that. So they are going to be coming. So think about getting ahead. If you're going to be reporting, why not go that level higher than what's required by the guidelines? If you have a look at them, they're about, they're a really easy set to follow through. Why not kind of set the standard for the industry now? The one thing that I will say is that investors are going to be looking at you and they're going to be wanting to see how you are kind of creating the standards. It helps them with their reporting requirements. As I said earlier, they've got to report to the LPs how their money is working harder. So start thinking about that now and pushing that out. And you can use great products. For example, Blockchain have an ESG platform. Darren, you can slip the champagne under the chair when I've finished. But yeah, so think about how you're going to report, how you're going to present your business, because investors really want to see that now. So have a look at those guidelines on the EU Commission's website, published 18 April 2021, and think about what you're doing and how you're going to incentivize your employees to kind of drive the business forward as well.
Brilliant, thank you. Jacqueline, when Alex Schlick, I was interested in what he said there at the end. He said, at the end of his pitch, he said, the energy system is changing. Be part of that change. As you reflect on that with PNDC, what's the impact that has on you?
So I think the energy system is changing. It's decentralising, it's democratising. We're moving away, I think, from a centrally controlled grid. And you're seeing communities now taking responsibility for their energy. And we're also seeing, it's really interesting in Scotland, we're seeing the Orkneys and the Shetlands now looking to develop new energy systems and actually starting to export green hydrogen as a future. And what I see at PNDC, we actually target that valley of death that was talked about earlier, where you have the great idea at the university and then you have the deployed, and then in between what you need is, particularly if you're a small company, you maybe can't afford the specialists in every single part of your technology. So we're there to help, and we're there with along the other sort of Scottish innovation centres to help bridge that and provide the technical support, the equipment support to help you test, because what we're seeing now is more and more smaller, medium enterprises, actually the ones that are coming through with innovative solutions and the one that can actually solve the problems and move that a wee bit faster. And we're also doing a dating agency. We work with a lot of the large network operators who are also trying to understand what decarbonising heat, decarbonising transport is going to mean for their systems. So I think, at least within the Scottish context, there's that nice ecosystem set up that will help accelerate that deployment.
Yeah. I mean, dealing with distributed demand, variable, fluctuating demand is key to getting the right system. Keith, I'm going to pick on you because of your Clyde Blowers and N4 background, and thinking about Magtor and where they're sitting with this product that's got to penetrate mass markets, very established markets with established conventional technology. Maybe what advice would you give them as how to break into that?
Well, I think a lot of these established markets and established industries are conservative by nature, but I think that you know, they're also these larger organisations are also highly motivated to find new solutions, and I think that that introduction that Jacqueline was mentioning earlier, and that bridging, that access into the system integrators. I mean, that's you know, the place that you guys want to get to is who can best make those introductions to those integrators of those component parts, because you know, on the face of it, it looks like game-changing technology.
And sort of following on to that, I mean, someone said already, it's not so much I think Jim Wilson said, it's not so much generating more renewable energy, it's integration of it into things like water treatment, heating, cooling. How would you reflect on that?
Yeah, no, for sure. And look, even the most traditional of businesses is looking to evolve in this area. I mean, it's incumbent on them, you know, the point that was made earlier around ESG requirements. You know, when we first started raising funds, the ESG diligence was, you know, a couple of pages in the pack, and now it's, you know, it's front and foremost and takes up a bigger pile than any other section. So, you know, from institutional investors investing into even traditional businesses, that's got to flow back up again, you know. So any technology that they can incorporate, because they're looking right across their value chain. It's not just about putting new solar panels in a factory, it's looking at, you know, where are their products going, what's the life of that product, and what does that look like, and you know, and the carbon usage of that product whilst it's in operation. So I think all of these technologies getting to the right place and getting tried and tested quickly is important. You know, it's that whole thing about, you know, the Google philosophy of let's try and fail quickly. If you spend all your life trying to raise funds, then you don't even get the chance to fail or succeed.
Thank you. I'm just conscious of the clock there because as an Edinburgh guy in Glasgow, I don't want a red card. So I'd like to thank my expert panelists for a fantastic, fascinating discussion.